Can I get a a fucking really bad podcast
Bad
And
podcast.
and a burger,
and with a side of burger.
With the side
and make that a Cheemsburger.
Hi, welcome back to the Nut House. It's me, Ethan,
Oh, this was the burger
lead
house.
nut of the house.
There's so much nut in here.
Oh no. Okay, well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the shit show. It's once again, it's me, Ethan.
I'm Ben.
I'm Andrew.
And it's Elias.
Wow, looky here, we have the full band of dorks.
Yay.
Woohoo. We play video games and we talk about them in a very shitposty manner. Who would have figured? Where it's totally original.
Y'all
Anyway.
ever play fucking Dark Souls?
Bro, I guess since you mentioned Dark Souls, I guess that leads in. That was a game I've been playing this past week.
Yeah, we just jump right into it.
We did, boy. What? Look at that beautiful segue.
I mean,
Look at you.
I was just trying to make like a shitposty type of like thing, but I guess that was a good segue.
I steered the ship around here. I take everybody else's shit posts and I turn it into gold.
A polishing a turd.
That's exactly what this is. Anyway, yeah, Dark Souls. I picked up Dark Souls Remastered because that's always on sale on Steam. Like, it's never not on sale on Steam. It's always like $20. And I had like $20 in my Steam account because I bought Borderlands 3. But the thing is like, well, I mean, as much as I want to play it, I was only going to play it with like one friend in particular. But it's like, well, he has a piece of junk computer. I highly doubt we'll be able to play that together anytime soon anyway. So I just refunded it and I just used those funds to nab Dark Souls. So yeah, I've been playing Dark Souls. Oh jeez, like I don't know how many playthroughs this is at this point, like what, 10, 12, 15, who the hell knows at this point. I played it so many times, it's criminal. But I was running to once you've played the game so many times, there's a certain groove that I kind of jump into it where I start doing like mid-game to like late-game stuff like earlier on in the run because I'm a total tryhard. So like I kill Havel before I even kill the Taurus demon, the second boss of the game, so I can get the Havel's ring like first thing, and I was able to do that. That actually wasn't hard at all. He killed me once because I mistimed a dodge, but
It's kind of funny because everyone's like super scared of Havel, like who haven't really fought him before. But once you actually like go and fight him, you realize that
he's so easy.
Yeah, he's really all you have to do is just backstab him over and over again.
Yeah, I mean it takes forever, especially if you're doing it at the beginning of the game when you're like a little tiny weakling and you're.
And you only have like a long sword or something.
No, I started this run as a deprived, so I just had like a club, so it was fun.
Naked man.
Yes, as naked. Yeah, so doing that. Additionally, I always start as a deprived now because I always like the balanced stats to start off with, and the cheaper investment into leveling up right from the beginning of the game. Because it's like a risk and reward sort of thing. But I've been running around doing things. I already killed Lotrick. I freed him and then I kicked him off the cliff so I could get his ring. So like the two rings I used throughout the entire game, Havel's ring and then the one ring that Lotrick gives
The FAP ring.
The one that like boosts your attack, endurance, carry, and everything in like health until you unequip it and the ring breaks.
Yeah, the ring of favor and protection, the FAP ring.
The FAP, yeah, okay. Yes, that's a beautiful name for it, the FAP ring.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, I rang the first bell of awakening. I tried to do the whole thing where I run and kill Pinwheel, like, right towards the beginning of the game to get the Rite of Kindling, like, from the beginning, but...
Easiest boss, but, like, most annoying, like, corpse run.
It's real. I hate the run. Like, I've only made it down to the bottom where all the skeleton roly-poly massive skeleton boner people are, and they're really annoying. They always kill me. But the thing is, I was running down there before I even killed the bell gargoyles, so I was like, maybe I'm here a little too early, so maybe I might go kill them, like, after I go get Qualag or something. Like, I'll go do that first, I suppose. But I joined the Gravelord Covenant, and I've got the Gravelord sword. I just need to, like, pump one more into dexterity, and then I've already got my replacement for the Drake sword. But, yeah, Dark Souls, always a good time. It's additionally hard to play a hard game, and I'm intentionally going out of my way to make it as challenging as possible when I have my cat in heat, and she's just yowling at me across the room, and I'm already frustrated from getting killed from these stupid roly-poly skeleton dudes. And then my cat's going, wow, 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 I'm horny, and I want to just rip her head off. I wouldn't actually do that. I love her. Hi, Juicebox. She's licking her asshole right now.
What a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Don't you hate it when your cat Juicebox is in heat while you're trying to beat a boss in Dark Souls?
Yes. Yeah.
And she's yelling that she's horny from across the room.
Yeah,
that's so specific.
Cats in heat are absolutely obnoxious, and it's led to many sleepless nights, but here we are.
I hate cats in heat.
I just hate cats. So
the next thing that I've been running, I've been playing more Black Ops Cold War, and it's gonna kind of become like that thing where Elias always plays Rocket League, but it's always something like that doesn't really need to be talked about, and that's gonna kind of become my thing for me, because it's like, you know, whatever, I shot dudes in Call of Duty, like, whoop-de-doo. Do I need to go on about this for like 10 minutes? But I'm gonna say this because I've been playing it on PlayStation 4. I think I mentioned this on an earlier episode, but I was like, oh yeah, no, like I was playing it on PC, but I couldn't get like a stable frame rate out of it because obviously these games are not optimized for PC very well. So I decided to say screw it, and I got the PlayStation 4 version of the game, which is a lot better. And I as much as I am like an FPS person, like mouse and keyboard pretty much exclusively, Call of Duty feels just fine on a controller for me, honestly. I really don't have any issues with it, but I've gotten to a point where I was like, oh, I'm gonna totally try and shoot for the platinum trophy, because I've never gotten a platinum or 100% achievements or whatever in a Black Ops game, because Black Ops games are usually like the hardest to do, mainly because of the really obnoxious zombies, Easter eggs, and whatever. And so we were kind of back at that point again where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely do it. And you know, the Easter egg is actually really easy. That was fine. Doing the campaign on veteran difficulty, again, totally fine. Even with a controller, it's not that hard. And then, you know, there's some like level specific trophies where it's like, oh, destroy 5 buildings while you're running in a speeding car, and you may miss the target, so you have to repeat it for 30 minutes straight until you actually get it all done. And some annoying stuff like that. But eventually I got to a point where this son of a bitch, dude. Dead Ops Arcade, the twin stick shooter of the zombies modes. Has anyone ever like played a Black Ops, like Black Ops 2? I think Black Ops 3 may have had Dead Ops Arcade as well. Anyone know what it is? Anyone ever played it?
I think I know what it is. I've never played it, but yeah.
I don't know about Dead Ops Arcade, but I have played like Nuketown and Classic Zombies.
I played one Call of Duty game. I do not remember which one it was. I think it might have been Modern Warfare. I'm not sure. I played it with my brother for about an hour.
Amazing. Yeah, Dead Ops Arcade is a top-down twin-stick shooter. it's very much a side mode of the game. It's made entirely by one person. So yeah, I jump into, the thing is normally Dead Ops Arcade would never have any achievements or trophies tied to it. They tied achievements and trophies to Dead Ops Arcade. And I must say, this was the most grueling experience I've ever had to try and get a bronze trophy in my life. A bronze. A bronze trophy? Yeah, those of us who play on PlayStation, at least a little bit. The bronze trophy, the little one, that's the, you shot 15 targets in the shooting range on your own time or whatever, or congratulations, you scratched your ass, like, here's a bronze trophy. Like, you know, the ones that get given away easily, you know, the whatever.
Baby's first trophy.
Yeah. A bronze trophy to go through the entirety of Dead Ops Arcade 3. And let me explain to you how that goes. It is a minimum 3.5 hour straight grind through a twin stick shooter. There's no save states. You cannot die, or else you start all the way over again. And you have to, again, do this for at least 3.5 hours. In my case, it was 4.5 hours to get through this of 64 waves of this zombies nonsense to get through it. And here's the thing. I played with people in the UK, and you want to know what that means? Completely opposite time zone. I was up until 6 in the morning.
Oh, God.
6 in the morning to get this bronze trophy. It was awful. 0.1% of everyone who has touched the game has gotten this trophy. It is that rare. It is terrible. But it was at that point when I got that trophy where I was sitting there like, I have no excuse. I have to get the platinum now. I've already done the worst thing. It's like, you know, I have to do it now. There's no point. So, I got my 100 vehicle kills in multiplayer. I got my 10 squad wipes in an online fire team. I beat the game on veteran again. I did all the side missions, did all the little side objectives in there. I did the zombies Easter egg. I upgraded all the perks and zombies. I grinded and I got my platinum. So I'm like, God, look at me. This is my very first Black Ops Platinum, and I'm very proud of it. It might be the rarest or the second rarest platinum trophy that I've ever gotten. But now Call of Duty is just going to be the normal whatever grind away at the multiplayer thing. I might talk about it, like, because we got a new zombies map that's coming out like February 9th or something. I'm going to play that. I might share some thoughts on it, but other than that, it's just going to become the Rocket League sort of thing where it's like, well, I played Call of Duty, so yeah, I just shot people.
Nice.
And lastly, one last game I played. It was $1 on the PlayStation Network, and I found out about it. Has anyone ever heard of My Name Is Mayo?
No.
Okay.
Mayo? I have not either. No.
Yeah, Mayo.
Is it spelled M-A-O?
M-A-Y-O, like a jar of mayo.
It's literally mayo. I thought it might be
mayonnaise?
Like Mao. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a stupid clicker game that's on PlayStation 4. It's a super easy platinum trophy. It's you just basically just hit the same button over and over and over and over again. But it has like some like it has some like really funny like social commentary and actual some like really good jokes in it. A lot of visual comedy. I played that game a while back, but they released a sequel like a couple months ago, and again it was only $1, so I was like, it's $1. So I jumped in and I started playing My Name Is Mayo 2, and yeah, it's more clicker game shenanigans. It's still pretty funny game. It's got a lot of really good jokes in it. It's again, got some really like biting social commentary in it too. You wouldn't think a game about clicking a jar of mayo actually like throws you into an existential crisis with its commentary. But no, it's fun, and like, yeah, whatever. It's a shitty platinum trophy that just sits among all the other shitty platinum trophies that I have on my PlayStation account. Whatever, but you know, whatever. It's there. And it's a fun game. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over having another easy platinum on my account. About maybe half the games I've platinumed are these kind of like $1 easy platinum sort of things. The things I do for writing articles, I inflate my PlayStation profile to like make myself look really good. When you actually look at my trophies, it's like, oh, it's garbage. Yeah, I know, but that's it. That's my spiel on the video games in which that I have played over the past week. I will toss the ball to Andrew. I actually made a decision for once in my life. I put on my big boy pants today. Andrew, tell us about games.
Well, you have chosen correctly. I actually have kind of like an interesting story. So I only for the majority of the week I only really played one game, and that's the big discussion game that we'll save for later. But so I realized like last night, like, oh, I don't really have anything to talk about. I might as well play a game right now. So my first thought was I'll play The Witcher 3, because I have it like already purchased on the Xbox that I received, and I just haven't downloaded it yet.
Oh,
so I started downloading it, and it was going to take like an hour and a half to download. So I was like, okay, I'll play Return of the Obra Dinn while I'm waiting. So I booted that up, and I started playing around with it. Anyways, this was around like 11, I think, 11 p.m. Anyways, around 4 in the morning, I finished the Obra Dinn. I'm serious. This is very weird for me. I never play games that long. Okay. So how that game works, to kind of reiterate. The idea is that you're on a ship, and the whole crew has died or disappeared, and your goal is to figure out what happened to each individual passenger and crewmate. And there's 60 of them total. Anyways, I found out about 15 of them, and then there's a point in the game where you have you've gotten all the information you're going to get from the game. And by the time I got to that point, I had only discovered 15 of the 60 people. So I was like, wow, I have been given all the information I need, and I have no idea about like 70% of the fates. It's that kind of game. It's very much about like deduction, and it's like and there's some like very hard to figure out stuff. This is coming from a guy that was able to figure out Portal without looking anything up. I was stumped by Obra Dinn for a good chunk of it. And yeah, it took me about 6 hours last night, and I was like, I kept it. It was at such a nice pace. Like every like half an hour, I would discover something new, and I'm like, okay, I can do this tonight. And the story is like really engaging, like how you discover like little things just a little bit at a time. Yeah, it's a really good game. Although I will say this, if you're willing to play it, I don't think it's a crime to look up how the answers to like 4 or 5 of the different like people that you need to figure out. That's what I did. Admittedly, I checked my phone. It's like, oh, it's 4 in the morning, and I still have like 6 more. I just googled like the names of like the last 5, and then figure out the rest by process of elimination. I don't think there's any crime in that. It's very hard. But yeah, man, such a good game. One of the best indie games I've ever played. Definitely one of the most absorbing. And yeah, I didn't end up getting to play The Witcher 3 because I was so invested in the Obra Dinn, but it is downloaded now, so I'll definitely play it this week, and I'll update it on you next week. But man, yeah, definitely. Oh man, give it a shot. Although I will say it's probably like one of the hardest puzzle games out there. So yeah, play at your own risk. Yeah, it's definitely not for everybody, but it's for the people that's like really into like deduction and puzzles and engaging stories told in very unique ways. If that's your cup of tea, then I think you'll love it.
It sounds like a better version of Danganronpa. That's not going to disappoint me.
Yeah.
I might give that a shot. That sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, give it a shot, definitely. Yeah, same guy that made Papers, Please. I really hope he makes more games. He seems to be
really?
very talented. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I need to play this now because Paper Space is good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting art style.
Yeah, it's like a black and white. It's like an old it's like an old movie, and the story is like
it's
something
like a
out of an old
sepia
movie
kind
too.
of. It's like a weird sepia pixel 3D thing.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I'd recommend playing it on a smaller screen too. I think if you played it on like a big screen, it might actually hurt your eyes a little bit. But
Oh yeah.
Play it in handheld on your Switch.
yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, and it's done in the art style's done in such a way where there's a ton of little details that clue you in as to like who everybody is, but you have to look for them. But at the same time, it's not so overly detailed that it gets lost in the background or whatever. Like it's possible to find every detail you need just through like careful observation, and everything's clear enough where you never feel cheated by the game.
Okay.
But some of the details are so minute that you're not gonna pick it up until like a few hours of playtime and like going back through like old I don't know if you guys remember, but the idea is that you can how you figure out who everyone is that you can relive the last moments but before they died, and and it's all like a still image, and you can like walk around it, and yeah, there's like for example there's a couple of guys that are like the carpenter of the ship and the carpenter's apprentice, and the only way to like figure out that that's who they are is in a random memory you see in the carpenter's like shop, the two of them working, and you're like, oh, those two are the carpenters, and so like you check that off, and then in a later memory you see how they died, and so you kind of like put the two together. It's like, okay, the carpenter was killed by this monster type of thing. It's very like process of elimination. Some of them are like insanely difficult. Like there's 4 identical Chinese topmen, and it's really hard to like figure out which one's which. I actually kind of got it by luck, and I was like, I was just sort of like flipping through like the names, and like I eventually got a hit. I'm like, what the? How'd I do that?
That's funny.
Yeah, super good game. Give it a shot.
Oh yeah, I definitely plan to at some point. It looks like a ton of fun. Again, I'm not much of a puzzle game guy, but like when I find something that's so unique and I don't know, just like very much like does its own thing and it blooming with creativity, that's the kind of thing that's like, ooh, yeah. I'm interested, even if it's normally not my kind of thing. Like, oh hell yeah, I'll give that a shot. And Obra Dinn's had my interest for a while, but your glowing recommendations have made that even clearer.
One of the recommendations here on Steam is don't start this game if you're sleep deprived, because you won't be able to stop until you've solved the mystery.
Yeah, very true. That's what happened to me. I can firsthand clarify that. I will also say this: the sound design. Like, if you're into that, like, holy crap! Like some of the best like voice acting and like sound design I've heard. Like,
Nice.
all 60 characters have like a different voice actor, so it's like it's possible to tell like which one's which through that. And it really is like a real testament to like solo like development. Like Lucas Pope, he did all the programming and like the art and everything, but then he got like a bunch of sound engineers and stuff like that. So like the credits, like 80% of it is just the voice actors. Because at the very beginning, it's like everything done by Lucas Pope, and then it goes through all the voice actors. So yeah. If in case I haven't made it clear yet, give it a shot.
Cool.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, well, that's all I
good
played.
review.
I'll save the game for later, I guess.
All right. Now pass the buck to somebody who you like the most. I'm putting pressure on you. No, I'm kidding. Silence.
You gotta choose someone, Andrew.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
Andrew.
Oh, that's what. Oh,
That's what he said. Yeah, choose your
Yeah,
favorite.
you have to pass the ball.
It was a joke.
oh. I totally missed that.
Oh, that's why.
I was like totally waiting for Ethan to say something.
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Elias, you
Professional
go.
podcast here. Oh, sweet, I'm the favorite.
Well, Ben knows that we all love him, so it's like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't need to inflate his ego anymore.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
I see.
We're getting savage here, aren't we?
Indeed.
Okay, yeah, so mainly Rocket League as usual. They got a new map. They're redoing Rocket Labs, so that's a lot of fun. Yay for experimental maps, which no one knows how to play because everyone's stupid, but that's okay. But yeah, so Rocket League as usual. I got back into Toho Luna Nights, but I was having some weird glitches. So I was like, okay, I'll fix that later. I don't want to deal with it. So I think I did fix it, but I was like, okay, we're fixed. We'll do that later. I played Assetto Corsa as usual. That's going to become the new. This is what happens every week. I'll just be drifting. So yeah, I'll be drifting. I found out there's a real racetrack near, not near, but somewhere near-ish that I can get to. So I might, and they actually do like drifting classes and drifting like days and track days and stuff. So it's like, oh, I might need to go do that. So we might be doing real life drifting, boys. And then the only other game I did play besides the topic game of the week or the 2 weeks was Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey, or as otherwise known, the Monkey Game.
The monkey game. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, Monkey Game.
Return to monkey.
I really much enjoy it. It has a few different like mode settings. I always went for the realism one just because I'm a hardcore gamer, you know. But it was really interesting because they're like, okay, this button does this, this does this. There you go. That's all we're giving you. Now figure out how to live. And I'm like, oh, it's just like real life, just like Mom and Pa used to do.
They just throw you out into the world. They figure it out
So
on your
yeah,
own, dipshit.
you go in and it's just like, what is this? You have to go over, like grab a thing, sniff it. It's like, oh, this is good for you. Possibly. Eat it. I don't know. And you eat it. It's like, oh no, that may give you diarrhea. Don't eat that again. It's like, cool. And I have to go deal with the diarrhea. So you have to go find a way to like fix that, or, you know, and you just go on, you live
Shit your
life and you
guts out
evolve.
and now you're
Yeah,
all
pretty
better.
much. So it's been interesting. I only played like an hour and a half ish, it looks like, according to the Steam analytic thing. But honestly, it was interesting. I need to get back into that, but there's a few other games I want to finish first. But I would definitely finish that up. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think that's all I really played. Just sick drifts in Assetto, sick flip resets in Rocket League, fixing a glitch in Toho, and that's it. So
Baller.
that's my game for this week. Yay! Okay, Ben, your turn.
Okay, well, I mostly played the game that we're going to be talking about next time, I believe.
Oh, I thought
and
it was this time.
Yeah,
Or
it
this
is
time? Oh, it is this time. Okay, cool. So yeah, I beat that. I beat that game. And then what else did I play? I played a bit of Doom afterward because it got me in the mood for shooters, and so I'm doing the Argent Tower mission. And,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
yeah. So I'm there, and then last night, me and Elias and a friend of ours, Josh, we all got together. We played Assetto Corsa in VR with Elias's like wheel, drift wheel or controller wheel,
Or just
whatever you
the
call
sim
it,
wheel, yeah. The
racing
sim
wheel. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
took turns learning how to drift first. And then when we realized that like none of us except Elias could do it, we even had my dad play because my dad has been like looking into Sims for a while. So that was pretty cool. And then we each did a racing thing where we would race the AI, and then whoever got like the best like placement or like time would win or something like that.
We
And
usually end up getting last. Yeah.
yeah, on my first run I didn't get last, but that's only because I think I killed someone. Because we started the race, and on the first turn that I tried to do, I spun out and I smacked into the person in 10th place who was like right behind me, and they crashed into the wall and then just didn't move. And so I just kept going and I finished the race, and then he didn't finish. So I was like, oh, what happened?
Granted, he hit the man at like 170 kilometers an hour of this turn because he didn't brake. So
I mean, true, but I also like hit a wall at like 100 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, true.
and my engine didn't break, so I wonder what happened.
But think about it. You hit the man, and then the man hit the wall. So he hit two things in one turn.
Okay, true.
But yeah, it was funny. A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
so yeah, it's pretty fun experience. One thing that me and Elias were talking about doing at some point is like is trying to do like an experiment to see like if drunk driving is like if like that would affect our performance in the game.
Oh,
So like doing an experiment where we'd play it like normally, like probably time ourselves or whatever.
Yeah,
and
what's your
then
time attack or something? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also probably like make accounts of like how many times you like spin out or crash or whatever, and then like try to take the course as like not as like fast as possible, but just try to drive the normal course or whatever, as like a baseline, and then like get buzzed or something, and then like try it again, and then record the results.
Make sure if you're doing that in VR that you keep a hurl bucket nearby.
Oh, true, yeah.
Speaking from experience.
Speaking from experience.
I would never actually drive. That's terrible.
But yeah, that would I feel like that'd be pretty fun. So
Yeah. So if we do that this week, we'll let you guys know for next week.
in case you guys want to join.
Maybe. I'd probably just be the control though, and just like watch you guys do it.
Yeet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my games for the week.
Cool.
Nice. So I guess this leads us to
Main
the main discussion
right?
topic of the week.
Alright,
So
then.
I said this on the last episode and everything that like, oh yeah, we were doing kind of like a little side thing, but while we were waiting to I guess make sure that people got enough time with the game to finish it or get really close to it or something like that. And the game that I pushed, since it was my turn to kind of push a game for the mates to play, it was 2017's critically acclaimed yet commercially failed game from Arkane Studios, Prey. I love this game with all of my heart. It's part of the immersive sim genre of games, and I explained that when I explained what immersive sim was on the last episode where we were talking about like our favorite game genres or whatever, but like I'll reiterate real quick. An immersive sim essentially is a genre of game that is about making creative decisions and very much a, it's got like some shooter elements into it, and if you want to boil it down to the most like pea-brain mode that you could honestly think of, like, yeah, I guess it is a shooter, but it's far more than that. It's more a light RPG with a pre-established character traveling around like a pre-established world, doing unique things, and I guess like it's like a interesting problem solver kind of game. You go out and you have a problem that you need to get taken care of, but it doesn't tell you how to do it, and any answer is valid, even not doing it at all.
Yes.
And that I love these kinds of games due to their like sheer openness and their willingness to accommodate any play style. And yeah, again, Prey is one of those games. I love it dearly, so very much. But yeah, anyway, I've gone on about enough. I'll share my full thoughts on the game as we continue to discuss, but I will pass on. I'll get Andrew's thoughts. I'd like to hear his first, mainly because I know first-person games may not be Andrew's forte necessarily. Again, this is nowhere near a traditional shooter game. This isn't Doom. Like, they're completely different genres. Like, this is not Doom. This is nowhere near Doom or anything like that. But again, I'd like to hear what Andrew has to say first, because I know this kind of game may not necessarily be his thing.
I was gonna say real quick, do we want to just all make sure, get like our overall score real quick, and then go into detail about stuff?
Sure, this is like a 9, nearly a 10. If there weren't a couple... There's a couple things that do kind of nag me a bit about it. It is unpolished in certain places, especially kind of when you get close to the end of the game. And I also think it might go on a little too long.
Ben.
But other than that, because I know Ben had issues, and I've had issues in previous playthroughs as well, where I kind of have a weird soft lock, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on? Like, why is the game, freaking out at me or something? Why can't I do this? And but at least like this is the kind of game where you're not actually locked in there. You just have to like think about it and try and I guess wiggle your brain around in a weird way to like actually try and figure out what to do. And the thing is, it's like it'll accommodate you for that. It's like, yeah, no, like, cool, you did it. Like, completely untraditional way to do it, but you did it. Congrats. It's like, oh, cool, thanks. Yeah, so
I 9 to 10.
I absolutely love it. It's like a 9 for me. So
okay, because I would have given it as far I didn't finish the game yet, so I can't give it a full amount review. But as of right now, it sits around an 8, like solid 8 for me.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, still up there. Ben.
For me, it's probably around a 7 or 8 as well.
Okay, and then Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay. I really hate to be like a downer, but I really didn't like what I played of it.
Hey, that's all good.
I gave up. I gave up on it pretty quickly. It's really not my type of game. Based on what I played of it, which is only about 2 hours, I probably give like a 2 or a 3. Really not my cup of tea. I'm really sorry. But yeah, that is how I sit on it. I do have some valid reasons though for not liking it. I don't want to like ruin you guys'. I don't think I will because I didn't even play the whole thing. But I think that Ethan and I might like actually kind of trade places with like the cave story episode. Where I gave up on it really quickly, and Ethan really loves it, and he'll probably go into his whole spiel on why he likes it a lot. But yeah, really not my thing. I'm sorry.
It's funny how you two are like a polar opposite sides of the gaming spectrum.
And we have the exact same personality type, so I don't get it.
All right, well,
just different strokes for different folks, though.
About it.
Yeah, Andrew, you go ahead.
Okay. Geez, where do I even start?
Yeesh.
Okay. First of all, it is one of my least favorite video game things where you get to pick your avatar. It's like, hey, how do you want to look? And then you don't ever actually get to see your avatar.
True.
It literally just changes pronouns between male and female.
You do get to see your avatar, though.
You do?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, certain
like
cutscenes, yeah.
Yeah, certain points, yeah.
Oh, goody.
But you're right. For the most part, you don't see them. Yeah.
Yeah, like 90% of the game.
It's not
you
all
don't
the
see it.
time. Yeah, it's not like Cyberpunk or whatever.
Then it does that like weird ass thing where like you go into like a testing facility and it's like pick up a chair, walk behind here, hide. Where do you hide? I don't know. It does that for a while. Then it does the whole like simulation thing. Spoilers, I guess, and but that's so early in the game.
The beginning of the game.
That's like the beginning of the game, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone's gonna get mad about that.
I think it's shown in trailers, that whole like beginning part, honestly. But anyway, yeah.
So yeah, then you get a wrench and
A la BioShock.
yeah, it's also one of those games where there's like no ammunition and you have to like craft your own stuff. And honestly, I don't think that was like made super clear to me. Like I did find a fabricator and like I recycled all my stuff and it gave me materials. And the only thing it like let me craft is another wrench, which I already had, and exactly like my other wrench. And the wrenches don't seem to break, so what the hell was the point of that? And and then there's also a point where like early on with like the simulator, I couldn't. You guys know that part where like you see that guy like get killed by the mimic thing,
Yeah.
through the glass. Anyways, that door didn't open for me, so I was stuck there for about 45 minutes, not knowing where to go because that door wouldn't open. And I thought maybe you had to climb up on something, so I actually went up, and then I turned on the simulation dock with the helicopter, and I went up and I fell through the ceiling. And so I was in the helicopter place again with the simulator thing on, so I couldn't find my way out.
Oh no!
I was like breaking the glass all along the wall, and I couldn't find the exit, and that took forever. And then I got out, and then I died, so I had to do it again.
Jeez.
Okay. I want to comment. This is one of the reasons it's not like a 9 or a 10 for me, because there's a lot of situations where it's a little too open, where you can do a stupid thing and it's going to punish you for doing the stupid thing. So you can kind of soft lock, and I think that's what I had to experience at the beginning.
And that was very much how my experience ended too. I totally soft locked myself. I was in
so sorry.
I had no ammunition. I was almost dead. I had nothing to heal myself with. And all I had was the wrench, and I was stuck in a room with one of the big guys that can insta-kill you. Phantom? I figured the only way that I could get out of that situation is to reload a save and like backtrack and like get more ammunition. And the thought of doing that and was so like I'm trying to like find my way back was like I hate doing that. That is like my least favorite thing. The only way to get out of a situation is to reload a save. Is like oh my god, that's kind of a deal breaker for me. I really hate doing that. So yeah, I'm not a fan of games that like where you can essentially soft lock yourself. Just not my thing. Really don't like that. Yeah, and the only like real sticking point for me is I read this manga a long time ago called All You Need Is Kill, which was remade as an American movie called The Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise. And that has a very similar thing with like the mimics, like the character design is very similar, and the whole like simulation, like kind of like you die and then you wake up somewhere else. So like that kind of reminded me of that. I was like, oh, is this game like a prequel to that? Like that'd be kind of cool. And then Ethan was like, last episode was like, no, they don't have any correlation. I'm like, oh, well, there goes all my interest. Anyways, yeah, I think I've been negative enough. I can understand why somebody would like this game. Like, I'm sure you guys will open my eyes a little bit as to some of its more positive qualities, but yeah, just not my thing.
And that's totally fair, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It is a weird game because like
it
is a weird game because it's definitely one of those games that like I really liked for the most part, but like I could see other people not liking it.
Yeah, 100% same.
And I think you said that too, Ethan. Is like
yeah,
you said that like you could totally understand if people don't like it.
Yeah, I recommended it off the basis that I knew that this isn't something that's absolutely for everybody. I knew that like going into a discussion that there would probably be somebody who really wouldn't take to it a whole lot, and I mean, whatever, it's an opinion. I'm not about to get you don't like thing I like. Even if this is like again one of my all-time favorite games. I've played through it like 3 times now within a year. Like I love it, but I know like it's niche, and that's what the genre of immersive sims typically is usually really niche. This isn't something that it's nowhere near a mass market product, and these genre of games never really have been. The closest that it's ever been has been BioShock, because it watered it down so much that it basically was the shell of itself. It really wasn't an immersive sim anymore. It was more just a linear first-person shooter with, occasional big brain choices. But the more traditional sort of thing where like you're a la Deus Ex, System Shock sort of thing. Yeah, because I mean that's essentially what Prey is it's System Shock by the way of BioShock's Art Deco aesthetics, as well as its general gameplay feel. It feels better than BioShock does. BioShock's shooting mechanics are kind of not good, and I'm not saying the Preys are great either. It's not Doom by any stretch of the word. It doesn't feel like Doom Eternal or anything. But same composer though. Mick Gordon did the soundtrack for Prey.
That would make sense. That would make sense.
It's a freaking great soundtrack too. But
I played one of my favorite games of all time is Resident Evil 4. And I think that game is it's also kind of like a survival type game with shooting elements. But I think that game's kind of lightning in a bottle for me. Like, I don't think I'll ever find a game in the same vein that I'll like as much. Like, I never got soft lock in Resident Evil 4, and I always felt like there was a small enough amount of ammunition where I felt like I needed to be sparing with it, but it was never like there's never a chance of me getting completely soft locked, because at the very least you always have your knife or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure what Prey could have done to be better in that regard, but yeah, I don't know.
See, I don't want to say this and sound like a douchebag when I'm saying this, but Prey's the kind of game where you need to solve your own problems. It doesn't.
It really is, yeah.
That's what an immersive sim is. It's all about creative thinking. It doesn't tell you what to do. There's no, there's objective markers where it's like, oh hey, this thing that you want to do, you need to go here to do that. But it's not like, oh hey, let me hold your hand on the way there and go and help you do this thing for you and everything. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing or whatever that you feel that way and that oh, you can't play this kind of game, you big stupid. No, don't take it that way. Don't take it that way. No, no. But Prey is one of those games that it's it presents a problem, but then you already have all the tools to solve that problem, and you just need to figure out how to do it for yourself.
That's where I kind of disagree, because I kind of got soft locked because I didn't have the necessary equipment at the time.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and we'll bring this in on the bugs and everything. This game is certainly not polished, and I know that, and it is unfortunate. That's essentially what comes with trying to make a more niche game and with AAA style ambitions with the kind of budget that you can't. It's a product of its own ambition, in that it was maybe a little too ambitious in places, that it probably could have scaled back on some things to try and up on that polish. And that is most certainly true, because again, I've ran into my own issues with the game as well. I've been soft locked on it too. On my very first playthrough, there was a room that I got locked into. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I was stuck in this room and I didn't have the resources to try and create something to get out. There were a bunch of enemies all around the place. And I couldn't get out without getting attacked, because there was a bunch of fire on the ground and whatever. And so essentially what I did was that I basically had to Super Mario my way out of there. So of course, there are certain bugs in the game, and the game is open enough that you can work around some of those bugs, but also, understandably, some of them you can't. And I don't know. Again, I know that obviously it's not polished on PC or anything, but I haven't played it on console or anything, so I can't speak to any console-specific issues or anything. I don't know if this is something that could have happened on one playing on PC, or if there's something that was only on a console. What system did you play this on, by the way? I'm curious.
The Xbox. Actually, that's another funny thing, is I didn't have to pay for it. It was already installed on my Xbox. I was like, oh
nice.
Cool.
Oh, you already had it. Nice.
Yeah. So I didn't waste any money on this, so that's nice.
That's
nice.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, even then, the thing I wanted to recommend is, even if you didn't like the game, I was pushing, get it on Xbox if you don't like it. It was only $8. It's not it's still, $8, but at least it's not a gigantic loss. But if you already had it installed, then, hell yeah. That's great. But yeah, no, again, certainly not polished by any stretch of the word. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's bug free, because it is not. Most certainly not. But I understand why it is. It's still an issue. It's still an inexcusable issue. It's like, yeah, again, you still had a buggy product and everything. At least it's not, cyberpunk broken or anything. We should actually finish the damn thing. And it won't crash on you every 10 minutes. Yeah, no, most certainly, I understand. So, I guess
if we ever get a recommendation that like we all like, I think like the universe will like fold in on itself. Like
probably,
It's good, yeah. I mean, we're all so different. That's the cool part, though. We all get very different experiences out of the same game, so I like that.
Yeah,
definitely. For sure. We're not here to, we're not. What was I trying to say? With tastes so dramatically different around and everything, it makes for intriguing discussions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, I kind of want to bounce off what Andrew was saying, where he got soft blocked and stuff. Because for me, the beginning of the game was the worst part for me. It was the part I kind of had to trudge through, and I got so lost so consistently. So I can 100% agree with him that like at the beginning it really does feel like they don't give you half the tools you need to do the job you need to do, when in reality, looking back, it's like, oh no, they really did. You just had to be like really smart about how you use the tools, right, and how you moved around the map. Because I'm a very big explorative person, so I started exploring a lot and getting into places I really should not have been getting into until later.
I love doing that.
And that's one of the complaints I had about the game, but it's also the thing I love about it. A lot of my complaints and my loves are linked. They're both the same thing. Because I love how big the map is and how interconnected everything is, but I also hate it because then you have to backtrack all over throughout the entire map, and you have to remember where everything is, and you have the little map, which is nice and whatever, but like, I don't know, my brain doesn't like that map style, the layout of it. It didn't make much sense to me, so in my brain I was like, okay, so this thing connects here, but how the heck did it connect there? So I had to remember like exactly the route it was that I connected to, or maybe there's another route, or there was a hidden route here or there, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's just so many routes that you have to like memorize basically to get from place to place. I remember at the beginning as well, I put all my points, like the neuromod points basically, into the explorative facts of it and nothing else. So I had like hacking 2, like near the beginning of the game. I had what was the other one? So something else that let me explore like very easily basically. And I was getting into all these rooms, and as soon as I got into the room, I'm like, I shouldn't be here. What's the point? I'm gonna die. So I still trudged through and pushed through these stupid rooms, fighting 3 phantoms with just a wrench because I'm an idiot. But yeah, the beginning was the hardest part. Once you get the pistol, my life was fixed. I had the pistol, and then I found the blueprint to be able to make the ammo for the pistol, and then I was like, perfect. That's all I need. So I think at one point I was running wrench, pistol, and then 500 shots in the pistol.
Dang, I've never had that much.
So I blasted. Anyway, I started blasting, right? So I just went through rooms clearing everyone, just playing it as if it was Doom. It was beautiful. And that's one thing
I didn't know you could even play it that way. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's one thing I liked about this game, because hearing how Ben played it, I was like, oh, that's not at all how I played. I just used the pistol. Pistol best gun. Pistol was my waifu in this game. Like, the shotgun, iffy. I just blasted people with a pistol. It did get to a point, though, once you get to the arboretum, whatever it was. Arboretum. God, I hate that word in English. It doesn't make any sense. Shubitsu shitsu. It makes so much more sense to me because in Japanese, it's just the tree room. They call it the tree room. Yeah, when you get to that point and you face the freaking nightmare. God, the freaking nightmare. I blasted that bitch with like 200 shots of the pistol. But, yeah, when you get to that point, it's like, okay, things are getting harder. Everything takes like 50 shots of the pistol to kill. I can't just rely on the pistol ammo, and I can't just craft ammo because I'm running out of resources. So I had to start being smarter. But yeah, I don't know. That's the point of the game where I started realizing things are very interconnected. There's a lot of fake walls. There's things that you can kind of do. There's a lot of options. And that's where I really started getting into the game, I think, once I hit the tree section. But yeah, I haven't finished it, sadly, I'm gonna go finish it for sure. I do want to.
Okay.
I just got to a point where I'm like stuck because I
Right.
kind of fucked myself.
Understandable. I wanted to try and do a spoiler discussion in here, but I would rather not spoil the ending. In that
I was gonna say
case.
normally I don't care about spoilers, but with this one, I feel like it would kind of ruin the game at that point.
Yeah. So.
So
We'll wait on this. We'll wait on the spoiler discussion then.
I guess I'll Ben. You haven't said a whole ton on the game just yet. We'll have you kind of go over your experience then before I go and I gush.
Okay. So yeah, like right off the bat, like I obviously in our Discord chat, like right off the bat, I said it gave me BioShock vibes, and that's because BioShock is probably the only other quote unquote immersive sim that I've played before. And so like starting off with just like a pretty simple, like, you know, you've got this map to explore at your disposal, and you start off with a wrench, and like you're it's got like this Art Deco type of vibe and stuff. I was like, oh, this is very reminiscent of BioShock. So I was already like attracted to it because of that. And so I just jumped off it from there. But yeah, overall, I think it's a really good game. I really enjoyed it. The soft locking is a problem though in some areas.
yes.
I will have to say that. And towards the end, I got really pissed at some of the a quest bug that happened. So yeah, it's like Ethan said, it's not a perfect game, but I think it's still like the aesthetic of it is fantastic. I thought the plot was really cool. The voice acting is really good.
Dude, it's spot on.
Yeah, like that's something that I noticed going in, like from the get-go, is like I thought the voice acting was really strong. But yeah, like whereas Elias said that he went like mostly pistol throughout the game and just blasting stuff Doom style. Most of my playthrough was spent like scrounging for ammo and like mixing up the uses of the different guns I had. The most disappointing thing probably being that like as much as like the Q-beam seemed to be hyped up for me in my playthrough, once I finally got it, it wasn't really that great. And I didn't end up using it a whole bunch.
If you pump enough upgrade points into that thing,
Dude, it destroys.
It is.
things.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
so
praise BFG essentially. Like, it's
Literally.
ridiculous.
Oh, because I didn't have the skill tree that allowed me to upgrade it that far yet. So I only gave it 2 power upgrades, and that was it.
Okay.
So yeah, when I was trying to like vaporize some of like the military operators later in the game, I couldn't really do it very easily. So yeah, like I spent most of my time probably using the shotgun just because of its like high damage if you get close.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I tended to do a lot. Was
the perfect workhorse.
I would just glue the enemies, and then I would just blast them with the shotgun. The pistol was something that I ended up running out of ammo with really quickly, and I was having trouble trying to determine whether or not I wanted to craft more ammo or craft more med kits or PSI hypos, because I got really used to using PSI powers, which is interesting because psi powers, which is interesting because they make it so if you start using more of those powers, the turrets will turn on you.
Yep.
At some point,
because you become more alien. That was one thing I was really hoping that someone was gonna find, because I love, and because this is obviously the kind of game where everyone's playthroughs are like dramatically different from each other, and I was really hoping that somebody would pump enough into the alien powers that they would start to like have other people and even like the turrets, everything start to recognize them as an alien. Fun fact: there's one of the psi powers. Have you gotten the mimic power where you can like actually like turn into objects?
I got that one. It was so useless.
Well, no, actually, there's a lot of intriguing
but
uses for that. A lot of great places you can actually run to that you otherwise can't get in with that ability. But anyway, if you actually turn into an object in front of another person, they immediately turn hostile and they try to kill you.
Oh, that was the thing that I fucked up on. When you get to the room where they're getting ready to go into the docking bay B and like destroy the things there, I did that whole thing. I was like, cool, everyone that I saved is here. We're all killing things. Awesome. And then I started just doing runs back and forth to the recyclers, just grabbing all the stuff, recycling and getting ready for the next, getting myself suited up basically. And I had the dash ability at that point. Like it's like a 6 meter like teleport basically you can do. And so I used that in front of them on accident to try to move faster. And immediately everyone's like, oh my god, she's a mimic, fuck, started shooting me. I'm like, oh no. And then a nightmare spawned and killed everyone, so yeah.
Rip.
Yeah, that was my playthrough. So everyone's dead. That's fun.
Well, luckily I don't think they're required for endgame, so
Good.
No.
you can still complete the game.
Yeah,
I'll
you
probably
can.
get an awful ending though. It's like
There's an
everyone's dead.
achievement to kill everybody. You
Great, I
kill
think I'm gonna be
literally everybody that you come into contact with.
Cool.
It encourages you to play it in dramatically different ways across different playthroughs and so forth. So, Ben, did you have any further thoughts?
Yeah, so I thought some of the bigger enemies, like the path enemies, were really cool. I really like the design of the technopaths. I don't know what it is, but like just like the fact that they're just kind of like blocky compared to like the telepaths, and they have like electrical abilities and they can like mess up with the electronics and stuff. I just found that really neat. Although during one of the sections, it's kind of spoiler, so I won't tell exactly where it is. But like, I think if I talk about like the positioning, you might understand, Ethan. You have to start at the very bottom of something, and there's a whole bunch of technopaths in that area, and then you have to climb your way up after the stairs have been like destroyed. You know what I'm talking about?
I think it's after where I'm at, so yeah.
It's close to the very bottom of the station.
Oh, okay.
Oh, near the power
Yeah.
plant? Okay.
Kind of. But anyway, yeah, trying to climb up through that specific area with all the technopaths like putting the electronic like bursts in your way to shock you. That was one of the more frustrating parts for me because it just seemed like, I don't know, like their auto targeting was just way too spot on. So I was actually getting really pissed trying to do that section because they kept killing me and I kept like falling because I was trying to use my my jetpack to float from different areas, and they would just like kill the power on it and I just fall to the bottom and die.
Loser.
Yeesh.
So yeah, I almost got soft locked there, but I was able to parkour my way out somehow. Yeah, I had to do that twice because of the way that quest line works. And then towards the end, I ran into all those bugs. It felt like it almost started like coming apart at the end, because there was a cutscene with a certain character, and he was trying to give a certain endgame item to me, and like the whole time he was trying to do like this dramatic conversation with me, like he was like spazzing out, like his character model was trying to walk in like all directions at once. And it was just really weird to watch while he was just like talking about like plot points and stuff like that. And he was just
the game has a serious issue with its NPCs, and that's why they don't throw a ton of them at you. Why you don't run into an NPC until you're like into the second act is like when you finally like find like actual living human beings, not possessed or anything. They're actual like, oh look, you have your free will, like you're alive, you're breathing.
yeah.
Yeah. So again, I know it's very rough around the edges in a lot of places.
Oh, and the biggest thing that pissed me off real bad was, I mean, I could have beaten the game without doing this mission, but I really wanted to do this mission because I thought it was the best path to go. So there's a certain person that I tried to save, and in this section, you're spacewalking. Technically, it's like zero G, and the person is unconscious.
Yeah,
the person is unconscious, and you have to drag them to like a safe spot and then let them go. But like I tried for like 40 minutes to try to get this person into the safe spot, but every time I would let go of him, he would just like die instantly. Or if like he would barely touch a surface, he would die. Or I would try to use like a power to stop an electrical junction from shocking us, and he would die because I had to like use the power and it like somehow affected him. Or like I would just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and one of the I can't really spoil it, but one of a certain enemy would get us, and it would kill him. And I would just be like, oh come on, dude. I was getting really pissed, and then finally like I figured out that After trying to use an EMP twice and failing, I used it a third time and it succeeded, and I was able to fix the junction before I grabbed him, and then I grabbed him, and then I went down and I put him in the safe spot, and then I quick saved there so I didn't have to do that shit all over again. and then I ran into a different problem where every time I left the facility, it would play the voice line that indicated that he was dead, and I was like, okay, what is happening? And so like I was like searching forums and stuff like that to try to find the how to fix the bug. Couldn't find anything. Some people were saying this, some people were saying that. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I tried just leaving the room like 2 more times, and on the third time it worked for some reason. If someone else has the bug, I wouldn't know the first thing on how to try to fix it for you, because I don't know what I did to make it work, but I got it to work. And then I was able to keep going. But then the very next bug I encountered was I had to craft an endgame item and the fabricators weren't working. It was like fabricator error. And I was like, okay, what is going on? Is there like a quest thing that's not letting me use the fabricators? So I Googled it. And then someone said that if you accidentally left like an item on the off ramp in the fabricator, it would bug the rest of the fabricators until you like reloaded the area. And so I was like, okay, you gotta be kidding me. So I reloaded the area and then I was able to craft it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So endgame felt really broken, but at the end of the day, I finished it and I really enjoyed it. So it needs some polish, but I did enjoy it though.
Yeah, and here's one of the sad things about the polish and everything. We will never get it, and it's solely because, again, it was a niche game that was tried to be made on a more AAA style budget, and the problem was that no one bought the damn thing. It sold 1.5 million copies, and Bethesda was trying to, if I remember correctly, project at least twice that for, you know, a really good profit. Obviously, it didn't hit that. And there's a reason why it goes on sale for like $8 or so, why it's so cheap.
And again, because it's good.
Yeah, and the thing is just that there wasn't enough love, I guess, put into the game from, you know, a commercial standpoint that it justified trying to, you know, fix up a lot of those issues, which sucks because, you know, I, as much as everybody else, would love to see Prey get polished. Again, I love the game immensely. It's a fantastic game. I adore it, and obviously I'd like to see it, you know, obviously, you know, fixed up a bit more, because again, I run into issues myself. I'm not here to say that the game is perfect, because it's not.
And to add to it, I did have a handful of crashes too, so
yeah, and it sucks. I obviously wish that wasn't the case, but I guess I guess I'll start going on about my stupid spiel on it.
Go off, King.
So, one thing that I absolutely love very much about Prey is that it has one foot firmly planted in the past and another one set for the future. It very much is a product of the genre and the studios in which that had inspired Arkane in their other work. And as someone who's played these games and who knows the history of these games, you see it all over the place. 0451 was like it's kind of a meme in the like immersive sim genre, because it was a room code for the original System Shock to like get inside of a room. And ever since then, a lot of immersive sims have used the code 0451 one way or another, and it's like, again,
I remember that code. That was
continuous
Morgan's
homage.
Office, right?
I'm sorry, what?
That was Morgan's Office code, right?
Yeah, it was Morgan's Office code. And it was funny because I didn't even like look for the code, but like every single game that I play that has like a room, like I have to enter a code or something to open it up, I immediately, first thing I do is put 0451 into it to see if it'll work. And about 50% of the time it works. So, sometimes I get what I want. Sometimes I don't. But anyway, again, Prey has that thing going for it. Additionally, with that melding of the aesthetics of BioShock's sort of design with System Shock's science fiction setting. The character Danielle Sho, I don't know, you guys ran into her. She's kind of a main quest person, but she can also, you can just find like audio recordings. Is very obviously a homage to Shodan from System Shock 2. And if you go inside Danielle's office, you'll see that there's a poster that very much looks like Shodan in there from System Shock and System Shock 2. Nice. The thing is like, normally when I would look at these kind of Easter eggs, it would just kind of be like a haha funny, or even in some cases be like a half-assed sort of like, oh yeah, like high and mighty, look at us. But like Prey does it though. Like this is the most liberating game in terms of its design that I've ever played. Again, it certainly needed a lot of smoothing around the edges and able to get it to where it needed to be. But its ambition is there, and it succeeds in a lot of places. It succeeds in most places, in my opinion. But yeah, no, for sure. Additionally, I would highly recommend to there's a couple like really good videos out there that kind of go into more detail about Prey and whatever, and I'll share these videos with you. Elias, you'll definitely want to wait until you finish the game before you actually see any of this stuff, because it goes into detail, because there's a massive twist ending at the very end that's kind of like, well, what was that? What happened there? But yeah, no, it I'm just trying to think of more to kind of go, because again, I love the game so much, but I could get lost talking about it for hours, and obviously you don't want to do that. Again, I love its sort of play it your way, Burger King, have it your way sort of ideal in its gameplay design. I would do on my third playthrough, at this point I know pretty much everything that the game has to offer. I did a full genocide run of the game where I just like killed absolutely everybody I ran into. I killed Alex, I killed January,
Nice.
Danielle, everybody. Like I murked absolutely everybody. Dr. what's his last name? I can't remember that guy's name, but when you like find him out in space and you
Igwe?
Yeah, I opened up the canister out in space and just sucked him into the
accident.
vacuum of space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that on accident the first time. I quick
did
loaded.
too.
I was like, oh crap, I feel like I should have saved him. My first playthrough was like, I went back and I saved him, but my second playthrough I was like, see ya, bitch. But yeah, no, I keep saying yeah, But yeah, no, again, with all of that, I understand Prey's very niche appeal, and that kind of makes me sad. I do wish that these kind of games would get more attention out there, because they are a very intriguing genre of game. It's very different than even your... Because it's a melding of your standard Western RPG and, like first-person shooter kind of affair. It's a melding of the two. To create something that's not necessarily either of them, but it's kind of both of them, but it's still very distinctly its own thing. And I wish that, it would get more attention, but, outside of the massive sales of games like Deus Ex and System Shock 2 in the past, and then when BioShock came by and dumbed down the formula for everybody, and that was the only thing that really got attention going forward. And even then, BioShock's success only lasted so long until Irrational bit the bullet. It's not a viable genre of games, unfortunately, and I wish that was the case, because, games like Prey, I want to see more of them. but Prey is the last of its kind in a way. We're getting a promise of a remake of the initial System Shock. There might be a VR version of System Shock 2 coming out at some point. We might, hell knows if we're actually going to get it, but the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, we may possibly get that, and those are all filed within that immersive sim genre of games, but hell, if we're actually ever going to get them, who knows? Vampire the Masquerade was delayed until, indefinitely. And it's running into a ton of development issues, so who the hell knows what the future of, the immersive sim is. And with games like Cyberpunk out there and people saying, oh, it's an immersive sim, and it's like, no, it's not. Like, not even close. It's far too hand-holdy to be an immersive sim. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, I like Cyberpunk in a lot of ways, but it's not an immersive sim. It's a Western RPG, your typical sort of affair. It's nothing all too special, but yeah, we're just kind of in this slump, and it kind of makes me sad, because again, I love these games so much, but we just don't see them out there, and we're not really ever gonna probably see him again like this. And Prey never got the attention it needed to get polished, because again, like all of us except Andrew, sorry, but have said, like, there's there's something in there that's brilliant. There's brilliance in here. There's something absolutely phenomenal, but there are problems that are blocking it to getting there. And that's what I think makes it so interesting, is that obviously it's not a perfect product by any stretch of the word, but you can look at it and you can see what it's trying to do in a way that's admirable, and it functions enough that it's not this total complete failure that it's like, oh, this is irredeemable garbage or something like that. Like there's still something to love in there, despite its unfortunate issues, objective issues. So I'm kind of like scraping to see what I can really talk about, because again, there's just so many things that would just take way too long. So many interesting paths of character interactions and dynamics and creativity involving your play style and what you want to go through. You can go completely non-lethal. You can not upgrade yourself at all, and you get an achievement for actually finishing the game without upgrading yourself with neuromods at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
there's also an achievement for turning yourself into an object and yeeting yourself really hard.
Oh, there's that too. It's great. You can. There's an achievement for mimicking a mimic.
Oh yeah.
There's again, because like you take a look at the achievement list, and it's like, it's telling you like, look at this stupid, crazy, like hilarious stuff that you can do, and like outside
you can also
of
scan yourself with the psychoscope if you do the phantom shift ability.
I did that,
yeah, and it gives you some really funny descriptions.
Yeah.
It's like strength devastatingly handsome.
Yeah, it's far more than just a whole scratching itself on the back sort of ordeal. It gives you these things in the achievement list because they're valid ways to actually play and finish the game. You can use the mimic ability when you've got those doors that are boarded up, they have little holes in them, to turn into a coffee mug and roll in there and go grab some stuff inside of there.
Oh,
that's how you get through that?
How did I never think of that? Oh my god.
You've got the little toy crossbow that if you stand on something just right, there's the one office in the security office in the main room, where I took a speaker and I placed it in a certain area, and I got on top of that speaker, crouched, aimed with the crossbow, and smacked the little door button to open up the security room, and then crawl inside there and get a shotgun earlier on in the game than what I should have. That's the thing.
That's insane.
That's the thing. And that's why I love it so much, is because it's like, if you can think that you can do it, there's a 99% chance you can do it.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say,
Wow.
immersive sim is too big brain for like the normal populace. I feel like you have to have played games for a while before you can play an immersive sim. I feel
yeah,
like.
and that's the unfortunate thing, is because like these games are so advanced and so very hands off, do your own thing, you figure it out, that it's too much for a lot of people to kind of get the hang of. And that's
Yeah.
totally understandable. Like, I can't blame somebody for, looking at this and saying, this is too much for me, I can't do this. It's like, I get it, like, no problem at all.
Yeah,
I
the
understand.
fact that Ben and I were like, oh wait, you can do that? It just is a testament to see like how freaking hard or how much you can do.
Oh yeah, no, it's everywhere. There's so much creative expression on behalf of the player, and that's where my love stems for Prey. It's not walk forward, shoot, bang, dude at door, get to end of level, repeat. I love those games. Doom, Call of Duty, shoot, bang, get to end of level, whatever. Again, I love those games. But sometimes I want something to challenge me. Intellectually, not necessarily just like, oh, I have to sit behind the wall further so that the raspberry jam on my face disappears so that I can hop out of cover and keep shooting people again until I take enough damage that I get raspberry jam all over my face, and then I have to go sit behind cover and wait again.
Raspberry jam.
Sometimes I want something that will like actually put my mind into gear, that will make me think of creative solutions to solve problems right in front of me. It's a puzzle game. In a way, and that's where my love stems for this genre, and especially Prey. Prey is the most accessible of these kinds of games that I have found, because again, I love games like System Shock 2. I will never recommend System Shock 2. It will run on all of your computers, no problemo whatsoever. Night Dive did a great port of the game where you can play it just fine. It'll run on modern hardware. All good. It is way too complex of a game for, in many cases, for even I to understand in a lot of places. It was too much even for me, someone who loves these genres of games, because like my first playthrough of System Shock 2, I'm like, what the hell am I even doing? Like, what is going on? And I'm lost for hours in there. Prey is certainly the most straightforward of this kind of game. Besides, I guess, like maybe like Deus Ex, Human Revolution, Mankind Divided. I haven't jumped into those Deus Ex games just yet, but I'm definitely going to at some point, and especially more of Arkane's titles like Dishonored, because while games like Dishonored may not be as advanced as Prey, you can tell that there's a lot of those design philosophies there, of that whole play your way, figure out the puzzle kind of. How can I do this non-lethally? How can I, traverse this thing, maintain full stealth, do this thing, and then you can like finagle around some like crazy solution to the problem and it works, and it's like, how did that work? Like, I don't know, but it worked. That's freaking cool. So I've gone on long enough. If it's not made very clear, I love Prey. Warts and all. My cat is now going to start howling now. What a great time to do it. But yeah, again, I love it. Warts and all. And it does have its warts. It's a product of its own ambition in beautiful yet detrimental ways. It has everything it needs to be one of the greatest games just ever made, period, but it lacks the polish to get there because of its ambition, and that's what makes it so sad, because it's again, it's so good, but it's like, oh, I got soft blocked in this really annoying place, and I have to finagle around like a madman to try and figure out what the hell I need to do to get out of here or whatever.
I have to reload saves, or I have to restart the game, or I have to
yeah, and that's really unfortunate. But I do love that those of us who stuck with the game, who this kind of game is for them. Again, I don't want to sit here and be like, well, Andrew, and like talk down to him. I'm not trying to do that. But at least those who knew that and kind of realized like, okay, this thing is kind of for me. And again, for it not being someone's thing is, again, totally valid. I get it. I expected that. I totally did. But that we were able to look into it and recognize that it's a diamond in the rough, but obviously there's a lot of rough around it.
Yeah, if I may, like, kind of piggyback off what you guys are saying.
Oh, there goes my cat again.
I think when it is he still in heat?
Yeah, she's
Still in
annoying
heat.
as hell. You can continue. Sorry.
Once you get in heat, you don't get out of heat, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me. To kind of piggyback off what you guys are saying is like with products like this that clearly have a lot of like love and care put into it, but maybe just didn't have enough time in the oven to like be properly polished. I think what it really boils down to is how much it connects with you and and just kind of like what you're looking for specifically yourself.
For sure.
For me, I think I have played games that are like in sort of like a similar vein of like they're not incredibly polished, and there's like certainly like ways that you can like kind of like think outside the box and like go and like play it in like 100 different ways. Like I feel like I played games like that before. I think the main like sticking point for me and why it personally didn't connect with me is the whole like simulation, like you're in like some sort of like a abandoned like space station or something, and you're isolated. I've seen stories that kind of like tackle like similar themes to that, and I'm hard pressed to think of one that I particularly like. So I'm just like I don't have any like valid criticisms against that type of idea, but I just don't think it's something that connects with me personally. Like feelings of like isolation is actually pretty like it kind of jades me a little bit because like we all have our burden to bear, and for me it was like when I was younger isolation was just a huge like problem for me, and because of that isolation tends to rub me the wrong way when I play or like experience any sort of medium.
I could see that. Yeah.
And I mean there are some like I like take like Hollow Knight for example. Like you're alone for most of that game, but I like how you like come across people and like the like Cornifer, the map guy, and like Hornet. Like I like how there's like reoccurring characters. It feels like like even though you're alone for a lot of it, you do like find like occasional pockets of like people, and you guys did say that like you run into people throughout the game and like you can choose to kill them or not. And I kind of wish that happened earlier in the game. So I feel like that connects with me more. Is like if I can find like pockets of like people, even when I feel isolated, I feel that I think feelings like that are pretty comforting to me. Mm-hmm. And that's probably why I like Hollow Knight so much. But with this game, I after like the initial like simulation thing, it seems like you're alone for quite a while. And I don't think I ever got to a point where I met anybody, so I just kind of felt isolated, and I wasn't really enjoying the game, so it wasn't connecting with me, and that's probably like the bottom line as to why I didn't enjoy it. So I guess for like that, to this game's credit, I guess it kind of made me learn something new about myself. Is like isolation without any sort of like pockets of like friendship or like connection with other people. It tends to really I don't know, maybe it, like scrounges up some like negative memories from my past or something, and so something like that might just never truly connect with me.
It's triggering in a way, and I'm not like I'm not going to use that in the annoying like right wing kind of way. Ooh, triggered. Like no, like it's actually like it actually kind of like triggers something within you. Like it's a real thing. So. Yeah, no, I can certainly see that. Obviously, it's not my intention to sort of, bring these sort of experiences to people.
No, it's good.
I had some bad experiences.
It's good to acknowledge stuff like that. So yeah, I'm glad that you recommended it, so I can, get that off my chest.
I'm not going to be here and be like, oh, Andrew, your feelings are invalid and I do apologize though. I didn't know that would be
no
that would affect you in that sort of way.
Oh my gosh, it's not like I was crying or something playing.
Oh yeah, not like you're in like shock that you're like shaking and oh goodness, but like no, I don't like to have people feel bad.
I was just like, while you guys were talking, I'm like kind of was just thinking to myself like, why does something like this not really appeal to me? And I kind of just had like a little epiphany there, and so I was like, oh, I'll share that. Maybe that'll be like a nice like capper to this discussion.
Yeah, interesting.
For sure.
All right. Anything else we want to bring up?
No, I think that'll do it. Play Prey.
Prey.
If you ever get the chance, it's certainly worth giving a go. Again, it's not polished. It's rougher around the edges in a lot of places, but if you can get yourself, like, if you're hooked within like the first reveal when you smash the looking glass at the beginning of the game, and if that like right there goes like that hits something in your brain that's like, oh, then the game will endlessly reward you for that. And when I did that there at the beginning of the game, I like everything just clicked, and I was like, pfft, like mind blown, and the whole game is just moments like that from then on out. The sort of deconstructing the world around you and questioning what's real and what's not, and so forth. So I hope that by next time, Elias will hopefully maybe have it finished, and I'd love to go into the ending and talk about where we went at the end of the game and what we did and so forth. But obviously we'll save that for when Elias finishes it. No rush. No problem at all. Just whenever, as soon as you say like, hey, I finished Prey, then we'll be like, quick, like Prey Part 2 for like, real quick, let's get this done. Like, what did you do? Blah, 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 and then get it over with. But, yeah.
I feel like I'm close. I'm within a few hours, I feel like. So
maybe.
I feel like, but we'll see.
Yeah. So I guess from here, it passes the buck to Elias on what to recommend next. What game shall we play, Elias, and talk about?
So I was thinking about this for a while. Prey took so freaking long, and it's still taking me time, right? So I was like, okay, we're not gonna do another long game. I feel like we should do this not sparingly, but give them some time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
not every time, but every once in a while.
Yeah. So I was going to recommend Ace Combat 7, but because that's a decently longer game, I decided we'll do Touhou Luna Nights instead. Go back to the cartoony art style, pixely art style. I didn't know what this game was when I first played it. It's apparently a Metroidvania is the category it falls under. Metroidvania, but with bullet hell elements. So that'll be fun. Yes, elements. It's not like pure bullet hell.
You know, like where we can play this? Like, would it be like
Game Pass, baby? It's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Yes, it's also just on normal Xbox stuff.
Hey, 3 months of right 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate currently right now is only at $1. Just letting you know.
Cool. Well, that sounds a bit more up my alley. So
yeah, we'll do Touhou. I think
maybe this will be the
style.
one.
Yeah, I think
maybe this will be the one. Maybe we'll all enjoy this. Who knows?
I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, I think Ben's gonna be okay with it. I think Ethan might like the challenge of it. I think Andrew's gonna like the art, and then I just love the whole game. And this is gonna be a reason to finish it because I haven't finished it yet. I gotten real close to the end, and then I just forgot to keep playing it. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna restart because I can't. The skill level at this point is a little higher than I would like for my brain, and I can't remember it. So,
all right, sounds great.
This would be a good time to finish the game for me.
Sick. Cool. All right, and so this is a shorter one, so we'll probably want to do this next week then, right?
Yeah,
so,
according to how long to beat, it's about 5 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem.
Supposedly.
Perfect.
We'll discuss it on the next episode. So from here, we'll sign off. All my links are in the link tree in the description of the episode of the podcast, as well as the profile of the podcast itself. On SoundCloud, on YouTube, it'll just be in the description. Yeah, I write for CBR. I occasionally will do something on Medium. I'm on Letterboxd, Backlogged. And actually now, I'm thinking about doing some Twitch streaming. Obviously nothing too crazy. I'm just going to stream, like, the built-in stream integration right off of my PlayStation 4, because hell, if I have a good enough computer to do any of that. I'm just going to grind some Call of Duty multiplayer and just give that some time to chat with friends and whatever. I might do that even later today, so I'll shoot a link if anyone's interested. But anyway, I might throw a Twitch into the link tree. In fact, I'll probably do that as soon as we're done here. I'll throw it in there, so you'll see it there. Come say hi if you give a shit, and if you don't, I don't blame you. I don't watch much streaming video games myself, so I totally understand. Anyway, that's everything from me. Let's go, I guess, up the list, I suppose. So Elias, give me your plug.
SoundCloud, EFA. There you go. That's all I do.
Short and sweet. Who's next on the list?
You, Ben.
Okay, cool. I have a link tree as well. You can find me on Letterboxd, on Backlogged, and on Twitter now, because I joined the hellhole.
Yay! Yeah. One of us.
Yeah.
One of us.
One of those people.
Yeah.
Those nerds.
The depressed people, I call them. So I...
the depressed people.
Dude, there seems to be some sort of correlation.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You came.
I was going to say,
Okay.
you came just in time to Twitter for everybody to horny post about the tall lady for Resident Evil Village.
Oh, yeah.
There's the tall vampire lady, and she's like 11 feet tall, and everyone's horny posting about the vampire lady in the new Resident Evil game that's coming out this year, so this is Twitter.
Nice. All right. Find me at ArtStation / Andrew Langston. If you want to commission me, shoot me an email at andrewlangstonart@gmail.com. And yeah, look forward to hearing from you.
Sick. I think that's everybody then.
Dopamine.
Yeah.
Lit,
Dopamine,
brah.
dude.
Anyway,
Brah.
thank you once again for your time and whatever. We might have a guest next episode. I'll ask him if Toho Luna Nights looks to be something that he might be interested in playing. If not, we'll pull him next time after that. But we'll try and get him on at some point here real soon. So look forward to that. And thank you, mates, once again. Y'all have good day and so forth. Bye-bye.
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 I can't find my mouse to stop the recording. There it is.